Welcome to the Real in Real Estate Podcast, your go-to show for real estate success. Whether you're an agent aiming to crush it or a buyer or seller wanting the inside scoop, we're here to deliver expert advice, insider tips, and the real talk you need. Each episode, we chat with top industry pros to give you the facts, strategies, and inspiration you need to thrive in this business. Let's dive in and make big moves together. Hi, welcome back to the Real in Real Estate, where we get all the facts and dispel the myths. And I'm here with a wonderful guest this morning, Luke Acree. He is the president of ReminderMedia, which we'll tell you a little bit about. But he's helped hundreds of thousands of people grow their businesses and help entrepreneurs get started. And he believes that business is all about relationships, which is exactly what our business is like. So thank you, Luke. Thanks for joining us. Welcome.
Jean, it is an honor to be here. Appreciate you giving me this opportunity.
Well, I want to tell them a little bit about ReminderMedia. I happen to be a member of ReminderMedia. There's lots of other things we can talk about as well, but ReminderMedia is a wonderful company that Luke is the president of, and we can do all kinds of social posts. We can do direct mailing. He actually has a custom magazine that goes out every month or every quarter, depending on how you want to do it. It's customized to you. I've been doing that for 4 years. I love it. I even send it to my dentist office and my hairdresser's office and everywhere else. And the people that get it really enjoy reading it. The social posts, I think, are wonderful for me because I don't have to sit around trying to figure out what to post. I can spend Monday morning for 15 minutes going in, finding the posts, scheduling them out through the week or even longer than that, and I am done. So I think it's a wonderful product, and I am so glad that you did this for us.
Thank you, Jean. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's been a labor of love. Marketing is my passion. So, I tell real estate agents all the time, you guys help people buy and sell homes and help them, 80 hours a week sometimes. That's what I do with marketing. Like, marketing is my passion. That's what I love to do. I've been blessed, I say, by God. God's blessed it. So I've been able to work in now 140 different industries, but real estate is where we got our start. And it is our true passion. And about 8 years ago, I convinced my younger brother to get into real estate himself and start a team, Acree Brothers Realty, down in Lynchburg, Virginia, because I'm based out of Philadelphia. And they're the number one team in Lynchburg. And we practice what we preach. Wow. We've already sold over 150 homes this year. We have 5 agents on the team, adding more. And we're using the marketing that you're talking about. So I get to design the marketing, but there's usually a gap between like the design and the implementation of marketing. And that I didn't learn that gap very well until we got into the business ourselves and then realized, hey, you can have a magazine, you can have social media content, but if you don't know how to successfully use it, then you're not going to succeed. And so that's really what's taken our business to the next level now, is that we're walking the talk, as they say.
Fantastic. Well, it just always amazes me how people can come up with these. I never would have thought of doing any of this on my own, but it makes my life so much easier. And it allows me to market, and I'm not a marketing genius. You are. So tell us, how does this help the average agent? I mean, I've told how I use it, but what made you get this started?
Yeah, so there's, everybody knows the pain point in the real estate industry is keeping in touch with your database, because there are so many people in your sphere right now that aren't using you. And we always have that gut punch when we, meet the person at church and learn that they sold their home and they didn't use you, or you log into your social, right? You get on Facebook and there's one of your Facebook connections and they posted that they just bought a home or they're listing their home. And you're like, man, why didn't they use me? All of us have had different experiences over our careers in that. And that's called the loyalty gap in business, is that they say they're going to use you. All the stats say that from the National Association of Realtors. They're happy with their agent. It's like in the 90 percentile are happy, will use their agent again. When they survey them again later, it's as low as 11% to as high as 23% actually use their agent again. So there's this huge loyalty gap. That's the pain point. And sales is what? It's about helping people overcome pain points to achieve desired outcomes. So we saw a need in the market that goes, hey, Jean knows she has to keep in touch, but she doesn't have the time because she is busy helping her current clients. So she knows she needs to send something, but guess what? That doesn't happen because she just is so busy on her current things that she doesn't get to do it. So we knew we had to build a system that was automated, something that Jean can literally get in there, like you said, for 15 minutes and be totally set. and have it go out. So that was one goal. We knew we had to provide Gene, using you as the example, with something that is exclusive that only you can do. And here's why. A stat for people listening to this, whether you use Reminder Media or not. Your database right now is connected to 4 to 5 other real estate agents like they know you. So, Susie and Bob in your database right now, making up those names, they know 4 other real estate agents the way they know you. Are you positive they're going to use you as the real estate agent? When they wake up tomorrow and go, I'm ready to list my home, is your name in their mind? And why is it important? Because 81% of sellers only interview one real estate agent. 81%. So everybody in your database, think about it, right? They wake up and they go, hey, I need a buy, sell, or invest in real estate. If you're not first in their mind, you're not the first name, you lost 81% of the business right there. So there's a huge need to separate yourself. I'm a student of John Maxwell, and he talks about in life, he's a leadership guru. He goes, there's the people pile. Everybody, right? Billions of people. Your job in life is to get yourself out of the people pile. You got to stand out, right? If you want to make an impact with somebody, if you want to get a promotion, you've got to get out of the people pile. So how do you do that? You got to be different. Well, I kind of take that analogy and add it to the real estate industry and go, hey, guys, there's a lot of agents out there. There's 1.5 million in the National Association of Realtors. There's a lot of agents. How do you get yourself out of the agent pile? And when I consult with agents all day long, I don't have to sell or convince anybody you got to keep in touch with your database. The problem is, how do you do it? And how do you do it in a way that's different? How do I help Gene stand out from the competitive agent right down the road? And that's what our platform wanted to accomplish. Everybody's sending a postcard. Everybody's sending an email. Not everybody has their own custom magazine. On top of that, the magazine is exclusive, so only you can send it. So you send it to me. Nobody else can send the magazine to me. So I want to give you a unique way to stand out. And then if I've lost anybody, come back to me for a second, because the third thing that is the most important is it's got to produce return on investment. Like it's got to produce return on investment. And in this business, for me, I'm focused on referral generation. We track about a 31% referral rate from sending a magazine, which has been pretty phenomenal. We've added, I don't know if you've used this, Gene, or not, but I would encourage you to. We added an algorithm a couple years back called Likely to Move. It's something I pay a lot of money for. We scan all of your addresses through this algorithm that's collecting public record data. And so normally people move because of life events. I call it the D list, right? Diamonds, divorce, death, downsizing, dumpsters because they're doing renovation, diapers, they're buying diapers, so they got a new kid. These life events, right? They signify people probably having a need for real estate. And so that's a lot of public record. That's purchasing record or data. That's tax data. We get all this data. We aggregate it together. And then our unique identifier is the property address. So if you live at 1100 First Avenue, I can take all this data and associate it to 1100 First Avenue. And then I can build an algorithm that basically predicts who is likely to list their home in the next 12 to 24 months because they have these indicators firing. So no algorithm is perfect. It's about 24% accurate. So 1 out of every 4 names it's predicting right now, when we look back 12 months later, they actually did list their home. So I'm encouraging my agents, man, upload all your addresses. Even if you don't send the magazine to them, upload them all. We'll analyze them through Likely to Move. And then now you know what? Not only who to send to, you should be sending to everybody in your database, but who to send to, more importantly, who to pick up the phone and call.
Yes.
Like that's the magic. Like I've been a marketer, and sorry, you can tell I have the gift of gab. I won't shut up.
I love it. That's why you're here.
Yeah. But I just am passionate about this stuff. I've been a marketer for, well over a decade now, loving marketing in literally hundreds of millions of pieces of direct mail, millions in social media advertising. None of this I say to impress people. It's just, hey, I want to impress upon you. Hey, I've done it. If it's out there in marketing, I've done it. I've tested it. And you know what my number one advice to agents right now that they need to do to keep in touch with their database?
What?
Pick up the phone and call your database. You don't have to use Luke Acree. You don't have to buy Reminder Media's products. You don't have to buy any marketing product. The first number one thing you should do, every agent, Gene, that's with you that I would encourage is go, hey, pick up the phone. Do what I call as a 5 for 5. Take 5 minutes every single day. Pick 5 people in your database. Pick up the phone and just do a thinking about you call. Hey, Gene, popped into my mind today. as I was getting ready for work, just want to check in. We haven't talked in a while. Hope you're doing well. Man, I can't believe I was thinking it's been 2 years since you moved into 1100 First Avenue. How's life been going? Sorry, I haven't kept in touch. Like, how's life been going? A thinking about you call. You do that every day. It's 25 minutes for 5 people. You do that for the whole month. You're going to hit your whole core database over the course of that month. That's all. You will be blown away. Just go do that. Come back and report to me at Luke Acree on Instagram. Tell me how that did for your business. I promise you it will blow your business up.
Right. That's building relationships, like you said. I used to work for, if you're in Houston, you know who Martha Turner Sotheby's is, an amazing woman that grew a brokerage. And I was lucky enough to work for her and talk to her one time. And she says, you've got to hit them where they ain't. And so many people now are just texting or sending messages through social media. They don't pick up the phone and call. So when you do that, you do stand out, and it is personal. And that's how you continue those relationships, because I know it's a cliche, but being a secret agent gets you nothing.
Bingo. And that's why client events have become insanely popular since the pandemic. It's actually not because of the client event. It's because the client event gives you an excuse to call and invite Jean and talk to her, personally.
Yeah.
It gives you an excuse, to meet face to face where you haven't done that. And this is what people should understand about marketing is, there's passive marketing and proactive marketing, right? So proactive would be the phone call. Proactive would be the door knocking pop by that Brian Buffini teaches, right? That's right. Proactive. Passive is the billboard, is the email, is the magazine. Those are passive. All of your passive marketing gets put on steroids, gets 10x in efficiency and in return on investment when you add the personal connection. When you add the phone call, here's why. Because maybe some of you listening to this right now are on Reminder Media's drip list because we do a lot of marketing, right? So you might be getting an email from us and you've ignored every one of them. That's okay. That happens to almost every business.
Right.
But guess what? Because you're hearing Luke Acree right now, and there's this personal Luke Acree talking and you're listening, that's going to elevate all my emails in your inbox. Now, because you're listening, that's the key. That's what people miss out on is you don't make the phone call to try to get a lead. You make the phone call just to connect, because when you connect, guess what they're going to see? They're going to see your mailer now. They're going to see your email now, because frequency and recency, right? The recency psychology effect, people, they now will notice things that pop into their RAS system. That's driven by your personal connection. Do a 5 for 5, all your marketing gets put on steroids.
There's a funny comparison. If you go out and you buy a new car, all of a sudden you see your car everywhere, where you never noticed it before.
And now time for a short break.
Ready to jumpstart your social media strategy? I'm Katie Lance, and the Get Social Smart Academy is your go-to for smarter content planning. Get weekly trainings, Canva templates, and AI tools to save time and grow your business. Go to katielance.com/academy to join us today.
Also, I was fortunate enough to interview Marky Lemons-Rao, and something I heard on your podcast coordinates with what she always preaches. She goes, you need to do an 8x8 every morning, and she goes on to social media and contacts at least 8 people first thing in the morning, but she doesn't just send a smiley face or a thumbs up or a prayer hand or whatever it is. She actually direct messages them, which is not as personal as getting on the phone and calling, but it's much more personal than just sending a happy face.
Exactly.
And I think I heard about you talking about that on your latest podcast as well.
Exactly. That's 100%. It's like, how do you get yourself out of the agent pile? You got to do what others won't do. And there's that cliche saying, but it's so true. If you want to live like the 1%, we all want to have the income of the 1%. We all want to, live the life of the 1%. But if you want to be there, you can't be like the 99%. 99% of people will set up just an email newsletter and never add the personal connection, right? It's 99% of agents. The reason why they get mediocre results is because they have mediocre effort when it comes to connecting with people. And this business is a relationship-based business. Well, how do you get into relationship? I preach this all the time, and I probably should preach to myself even more, is that, look, you get into relationship by getting to know people. You get to know people by conversation. You get conversations by outreach. It's that simple deduction. Yeah. It's like, you got to get to know people. How do you get to know people? Use the FORD acronym. This is what I always use: family, occupation, recreation, dreams. Right. Family, occupation, recreation, dreams. Call Jean up, your client, and your goal is to learn about her family. Your goal is to learn about what she does for work. Your goal is to learn about what her hobbies are, what she's into. Your goal is to learn about her dreams. You get to connect with somebody on those 4 pillars. You know them well. And that's how
Oh,
business is
absolutely.
done. They don't use you because you're the best. They use you because they trust you the most. And trust is oftentimes built by commonality. And that comes from
Yes.
shared values, shared interests. Like, I'm married to my wife, Megan. I have 2 kids. I play in my church praise band every week, or I shouldn't say every week, every other week at this point. But the point being is like those who, as you get to know facts about me, people who have kids, people who are married, people who are involved in their church, they naturally lean more in to me. Why? Because we
Absolutely.
have shared values, shared commonality. So your goal, whether it's in social, email, magazine sending out, phone calls you're making, how do I show my values? How do I show who I am? Because the tribe is going to be attracted into that. And that is what will
Yes.
grow my business. You don't need hundreds of thousands of people to be successful. You need what? 200 solid relationships to be a
Oh,
top producing agent, if that.
yeah. Yes, absolutely. And follow up, which is a big portion of what you were just talking about, is so very important. I preach that all the time to my agents, and I don't think a lot of people realize how important that is. And once you're done with a client, keep sending them the magazine, keep sending the postcards, keep direct messaging them, give them a phone call. You can't just one and done it with anybody and expect to maintain a relationship.
Correct. And supposedly the average person knows 3 to 5 other people that
Mhm.
need a real estate agent. And they come into contact with 3 to 5 people over the course of a year that need a real estate agent in buying, selling, or investing. So if you think just in 50 people, that's potential of 250 connections that need a real estate agent. You're not going to get them all, but if you got 10%, that's 25 transactions. 25
That's a
transactions
nice.
put you in the top 3% of real estate agents in the nation. Hard to believe, but it does. So it doesn't take a lot. Why do agents fail at this? I really wish I knew the answer because maybe then
Oh,
I
darn,
could
I
come
was
up with
waiting
the,
to hear.
yeah, maybe I could come up with the actual real solution. Here's what I have boiled it down to is it's not head knowledge, it's heart knowledge, and that transfers into their activity. It's like they have the head
I like
knowledge.
that.
They do not connect it to the heart knowledge. That's why, we're emotional beings, we're spiritual beings, all these things. That's why people talk about finding your why, finding the reason to
Mhm.
get up and do what you do. I get the privilege to work with agents that are on the Acree Brothers Realty team very personally and closely. And I realize all day long, man, we have all the knowledge, but we still have agents that struggle. Why? Because they have the knowledge, they haven't connected to their heart, which flows out in their action, and their commitment to their calendar is non-existent. It's discipline, the
Yes.
big D word that everybody runs
Yes.
from. You gotta have the discipline, and discipline is one of those things that it's like you're never going to be perfect in, but your goal is to strive, like the Atomic Habits book says, to get 1% better every day and be more
Right.
disciplined. I just know the first thing I would look at if I was auditing your agents, Gene, and go, okay, why aren't they producing? Show me where they're spending their money and show me where they're spending their time. I want to see your
Mm.
calendar and I want to see your bank account. Show me that. It tells me everything. I don't want to talk to you. I don't even need to talk to you. I just need to see where you're spending your money because that's what you believe in and what you value, and where you're spending your time because that's what you believe in and what you value. Everything else is what you hope to value, what you aspire to be, that you want to tell me that it's a mismatch. But you show me where you're spending your money and your time, I can tell you everything about who you are. And so I would challenge people, audit your calendar, go for the past 7 days, audit your calendar, go to your bank account, audit your bank account for the past month. Where did you spend your money? Where did you
Yeah.
spend your time? And start evolving your calendar, and you will get really, really good. The best, entrepreneurs, business people out there that I know are extremely good at time management.
Yeah. And time blocking is very important to get the discipline started. I think you got to sit down with your calendar and really plan like I do Monday mornings by 15 minutes. I'm sending out your social posts. If I didn't do that, it'd be Friday before I got around to doing it. So that's
Exactly.
very
Well said.
important. And a lot of people, I think, see this as an easy industry or a glamorous industry. Um, it's hard work. This is a real job. You have to get up, get dressed, and get out every day if you want to make a living at this. And I think a lot of people miss that. Um, and I hope that they will change their minds about that and actually get serious, because there are a lot of good people out there. And some people are really shy and it's hard to get started. But like you said, try to get 1% better each day. Get out there, do it, try it, and it'll work. It'll work
And
for you.
everybody's a little different. So it's, I know I'm giving blanket advice, but, everything's a little bit nuanced when you get into it. Gray. That's the beauty of life.
Sure.
It's not black and white, it's gray. But it's also the frustrating thing about life. But I would encourage people that one of the best things you can do is look at your environment and put yourself in an environment that will make you productive. And that has multiple applications to it. But the saying is, you put a flower in the desert, it dies. You put a flower in good soil, it blossoms. A huge piece of your environment is the coach that you look up to, the person that you look up to. They don't have to be a hired coach. It can just be someone you're learning from. The other huge thing is the accountability partners, the friends, the peers that you surround yourself with. If I could teach my kids anything, is you will be who you look up to and who you're with. You will be who you look up to and who you're with. So that input, audit that input, just like you would want your kids to audit that input. And it doesn't mean you have to be rude to the people, but why spend your time with people who are not elevating you? You got to get around people who will challenge you. And oftentimes read the books, listen to the videos you guys do like I do. The Michael Jordans of the world do not talk about the people in the stands that were praising them, that made the most impact in their life. In fact, the famous story is the most impactful person in Jordan's life was the coach, high school coach, that told him he didn't make the team. And he told him he didn't make the team, not because of his skill, but because he lacked heart and work ethic. And he said, if you show up every day to practice for the next year, I'll guarantee you a spot on next year's team. And it's like, that's the guy he remembers, not the guy who was cheering him on from the stand saying you're the best, but the guy that said you have more potential than you do. Right, the challenge. And so oftentimes we hate the people in a way that are actually the most beneficial for us because they're the truth tellers.
Yes. Yeah. Sometimes that hurts, but it's needed. Well, before we run out of time, what do you want to tell us about Reminder Media that I haven't already praised you about?
Now, you're amazing. I so appreciate the opportunity. I appreciate you being a client. And, I would love for people to check us out at remindermedia.com. We are a marketing company with our specialty really being in how we help you nurture the database that you have. We have our custom magazines are our flagship. We do them both print and digital. Custom magazine gives you now a library of content that you were saying, Gene, that now you can schedule out and post on your social. We can even build content plans for you now. We just recently, in the last couple of years, got into the lead generation side of the business. So if you are at a place where you're like, hey, Luke, I have my sphere and I would love your help nurturing that sphere, but I also need to create new relationships. We have a whole portion of our business where we run paid ads for people now to help them generate leads to start nurturing. And so I would love for you guys to go check that out, remindermedia.com. Actually, even more than that, I would love for you to connect with me on social at Luke Acree. So Instagram or Facebook, would love to connect if I can help you, even if you don't use our products. Awesome. I also am in my podcast studio, as you guys
Yes, you do have a podcast. Tell them about it.
So we have a podcast called Stay Paid, and I'm very passionate about this new series that I just released. It's a call-in show. So if you're familiar with Dave Ramsey, you can call in and get financial advice. With Stay Paid now, you can call in and get marketing and business advice from people in the trench. So I've built a multi-million-dollar business through Reminder Media, and we've built a multi-million-dollar business in Acree Brothers, and we do a lot of investing and flipping as well in that business. So we're now taking call-ins. Go check out our Monday episode that released with the broke agent. He's the master of social media. We had a bunch of agents call in and ask their questions to Eric and I, and we were able to help them in the business. And so check that out, staypaidpodcast.com or our YouTube channel.
And I just listened to that episode today. So I love listening to podcasts. Hopefully everyone will listen to mine and yours as well. But when you're out driving around, it's a great way to be educated and motivated, much better than listening to the same song on the radio 5 times in one day. And realtors that are actually doing business are in their cars a lot.
Yeah, they are. Every time I talk to a real estate agent, they're in their cars. I'm actually impressed that we haven't gotten a call in from an agent. I guess because they're on video, but I don't think they've been in their cars yet. Maybe one has. Most are in their home or at their desk. So,
well, everybody, please check out remindermedia.com. I fully recommend it, and it's wonderful. They have lots. If you don't want to do the magazine, do something else. But they have lots of opportunities. Listen to Stay Paid. podcast. And thank you, Luke, so much for taking the time to be with us. You are an extremely busy person, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Jane. It's an honor.
My honor. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in to the Real and Real Estate Podcast. I hope today's insights have inspired and empowered you. Don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and share the podcast with anyone who might benefit. Have questions or a topic you'd like us to explore? We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, stay informed, stay inspired, and keep moving towards success.